on this map because they can do those executes onto the B side. But as we said, though, we are finally ready to go into this one. It's going to be Cloud9 on the T side, heading towards the B area as well. It looks like a very fast execution coming in from them.
Yeah, not messing around. I think Dennis will be the one to receive first and foremostly. He does catch a glimpse of at least a shoulder there. Good couple of players already ready on this B site. Flash comes in. Dennis going to look around. CT side taking their time as the T side does start to apply the pressure, and that's Freakzoid and Skadoodle opening this one up with a bang, and God B now left rather stoically towards this side with Nex up above.
Yeah, with Nex alive, though, anything can happen, and it will happen. So let's see whether they can retake this bomb site. It's going to be very difficult for them, though, as Freakazoid takes down the point man there. And now it looks like it's going to be a foregone conclusion and an easy round for Cloud9 there. Very simple strategy from them. 4 guys on armor, 1 raid boss is going to be Shroud, and you just saw how stifling they were on the bomb. So they forced the CTs back. They didn't really have a look in there. They got pushed to the pond area, and then it was just fell apart for them. Bomb goes down. This is where it gets interesting, though. We know mousesports are so good at the scouts and the force buys themselves, but without getting too many kills, it's difficult to get that gun out there. You can see Christian can't really afford one, so that's not going to happen, but a force buy will be coming in. They've got the 5.7s, armor set up, but Cloud9 are playing this very smart. You get 3 SMGs on the board. It allows you to kind of fill the map out and use those guys as the scouts as well. They can work in and not give too much away. So here we go. No real stack coming in from mousesports, though. It's just going to allow Cloud9 to get control of the middle and just clear out each area as they go. Yeah,
pretty cautiously until then. Dennis will at least find Freakazoid, get one down, but a fair exchange. Sean will find Nex. So, slowly working themselves up towards 8. I think Spiddy will be waiting just towards the other side of things, so not going to be the easiest walk in the park, quite literally here, as Sean maybe switching up towards that Molotov as nothing. Will find Chris J, and one by one they are putting the pieces together, but surely they're going to be where Dennis is here, but it doesn't matter. He's going to find Sean Garris, bring back to a 3v3. CT side's doing a fair bit of work here.
Absolutely, they're doing very well holding the T side off here, and they need to work out whether they can commit to this site. Not too much in terms of utility left. They need to find a frag and get themselves onto the bomb site, but the CTs are well aware of what's going on right now. Next frag is going to be very important. Where's it going to come from? They're just sitting back with the AKs in hand and just trying to find that pick to get them into the site.
Yeah, and it's cautiously does it right now. Spiddy is there still, just keeping eyes on him, keeping the rest of his team fairly fluid. Godbeat not too far behind either. Bomb is down. Now Dennis looking for more. Already done brilliant work this game. Does manage to get himself the SMG there. Flash comes out. Godbeat finds Shroud. And look at this play. Godbeat and Dennis perfectly coming back in. And you said that next kill would be crucial. You said the next couple of elements would define that round. And it pretty much did. Dennis and Godbeat there. Massive play.
Cloud9 were just too apprehensive going into the site there. They got some great mid control, right? But then they got caught. They knew exactly, the CTs knew exactly where they were, holding that middle area, waiting for that frag that just didn't come, force them into a position they didn't want to go to, pincered by the CTs in the bathroom as well. As soon as that confusion came in and they were trying to look at 2 areas at once, that's when it fell apart. Once you get to the site, you need to work out whether we're going for this execute. The thing about Overpass is you can rotate so quickly to the other side. You go to that stairs area and you can get back and get away from that crossfire they had set up. But that's going to be disappointing for Cloud9 there. I think they felt like they deserved that round, especially getting that so much control at the start. They just didn't want to commit, and that was the problem for them.
As you guys at home can see, that timeout is called. I don't think it's tactical, but everyone's headsets are still on, so gonna have to wait and see what's going on with that one. Not too sure myself, but let's kind of break down what we've seen so far, because of course you mentioned the threat that mousesports have when they are able to get those scouts in hand.
But that's the
not
thing,
able to get that.
Didn't even need them at the end of the day. I think Cloud9 almost gave that round away for free. The fact you gained so much control and you have the advantage of just, they used up everything they had in terms of utility quite early on in the round, and then they got to the site and you just saw that there's probably a little bit of bickering going on there. They probably were trying to work out, okay, what's our play here? How do we even get back into this round? And it was just too apprehensive and didn't make any sort of play. But you can see them answering back now. There is no armor buy. They're actually going to be taking a couple of Tech 9s, but sticking together and working what they can do. Chris J, as I said, showing that aggression towards middle. He wants to get that first frag. They're going to have 1 Mac 10, but this should be a pretty simple round for them as long as Chris J keeps his defensive position. He just wants to get some intel and then fall back.
Let's see what he can gather here. Just so far, he's not found out too much. I don't think he's seen anyone on the cross particularly. Going to fall back, however, and just wait to see what the T side brings. He is at least going towards the right direction for now, but T-side, Cloud9 not giving away too much. Well,
they've taken the long area without being spotted. This can be quite advantageous, especially if you have all 5 players that can explode onto the site, and that's a great smoke from them as well. They take away the vision from the CTs, and this is where they can make their advancement up into that area. And here we go. This is going to be very important. Chris J in a great position, flashing them out, and here it comes. They're going to come bailing through that smoke any second.
Oh, Chris J on the precipice here. Great little nade coming in from the back lines. Freakazoid Shroud all a little lower, and Chris J going to have this just free roam here. Look at this. Just going to go wild. Picks up 3, and there's Dennis watching the back lines. And even though Cloud9 held those cards close to their chest, it didn't seem to make a difference.
No, that was very nice in mousesports. It was quite disciplined as well. Like Chris J, he wasn't sacrificing himself in middle. He's just trying to get some information. And when you don't see anyone middle within about 15 seconds of the round, you can pretty much ascertain they're either going B or long. He fell back to a very defensive position. That smoke going down was supposed to help Cloud9 going into that. They got up to the smoke, but then it was just too far gone for them. Had to force to go through it, and very easy frags for Chris J. But here we go again then. Let's see what mousesports bring to the party. Aggressive setup again from Chris J, but it looks like it's going to be a full-on B execute from Cloud9.
And well, the first time we saw this, it worked out pretty well, but that was the first round, of course. A lot more utility there now for the CTs, and God B going to crack this one off, taking Freakazoid down as he pushed forward. Dennis, however, joins him, doesn't need it. God B finds another. The Shroud gone. God B fancies his chance. He gets a third. Brilliant play from God B coming in, stopping them in their tracks. And Sean Garris now last man standing, 1v4. Dennis sprays into it and will claim it. And that's a big round coming in for Mouse.
Why is God B allowed to get that many frags in that position? That should be a position you can't even play. Like, you should be getting locked down either by the Molotovs or flashbangs coming over. You shouldn't be able to get 3 or 4 frags without any return there. That's pretty sloppy from Cloud9, and at rounds you don't normally see them play that. I think that's one of the Hail Mary plays from Sean, trying to surprise the CTs there, but God B can't take anything away from his aim there. Really nice clean shots, all headshots as well, so that's going to add another one onto the board of mousesports. And now we see yet again Cloud9 on the P250 round and going towards B again, but I don't think they'll be trying that one after that shutdown they received from the man himself, God B, but looks like they'll be getting control short and will be making their way onto the B side.
Yeah,
again.
I think Spiddy might have just caught a glimpse of them in towards mid there, but it's going to be the T side trying to, as you said, pile in towards B, look for a plant. These flashes are just holding them back, allowing Dennis the chance to reposition, but once again it's God B. Finding Sean Garris, P250's yet to really make a chance of this one, but God B down to 2 HP, and the CT side just not allowing them to get towards that side, keeping them at arm's length, and now Skadoodle left.
It's interesting on that last gun and why they opted for just a straight-up B rush. It didn't look like they had a set piece. They were just running through the monster tunnel, hoping for the best. I'd have preferred them to do what they did on the round that they had. The AKs get that mid-control, get towards a bomb site, execute properly, and instead of forcing the issue like they did, it's put them in a very precarious position now. Now we can probably see Chris J. Will he be getting out the AWP? I guess they don't really need to. The rifles are working so well for them. The crossfire is effective on both sides. So until Cloud9 presents something that locks us down what they're doing, they don't really need to change their setup whatsoever. But keeping that aggression, look at Nex and Chris J. What a deadly duo that is. Going up middle, getting intel, and just working together. Cloud9 once again heading towards that B side. Maybe they've got more of a set piece this time instead of a straight-up rush.
Well, it looks like it. They're certainly taking a little bit longer. Shroud and Sean Garris taking their time, a vastly different route thus far. But still, so far it's been a bit of a tricky predicament for Cloud9, not quite having the start they would have imagined, but still, different round, different start, and as you said, they are building towards that B site here. Smoke's coming down, and it does look far more set here.
Yep. Well, they've got the Molotovs as well. That can be very, very beneficial, trying to flush out CTs on the side. But here we go. They make their advance onto the bomb side.
Yeah, God B holding them back, though. Once again, going to push into these predicaments. And look at this. Allowed to take down the bomb planter. Allowed to deny that. But Freakazoid finally exchanges. Freakazoid not done with one. He wants a second. But Dennis is still there. Bomb is still loose. And the T side are just walking in towards Dennis. Stunning little spray down. Correcting towards John in the end. And Dennis closes that one out with 4 in that round. And it just seems impenetrable. Whether it's God B, whether it's Dennis, mousesports are holding that side.
Dennis, a fantastic form on the side there. When it came down to that last kill, I didn't really favour him whatsoever, but he manages to make it work. And we saw Freakazoid there trying to reclaim something back. We say he's one of the best entry fraggers in the game. Manages to claw back 2 frags, but it wasn't enough. mousesports hold on once again, and the loss bonus now working in Cloud9's favour. At least they've got that going for them. They've got 5 AKs on the board, but look at their utility. They don't really have much options apart from let's pick on the map and let's see what we can do. Chris J hasn't really been contested too much in the middle area here. They've just been going towards the B bomb side pretty much every single time, but this day it could be a little bit different. A change of mentality, trying to get some mid-control here, maybe going up to party as well.
And Chris J certainly keeping eyes towards that. Not going to find out much information though, going to back out of there. And once again, last time turned his attention towards long, and it looks like he's doing the same again. So it seems like mousesports really haven't been challenged just yet, but is this an overextension, or is this just good positioning?
This is perfect read from mousesports right now. He got that information middle, didn't really get contested. Now it's going to come down to Chris J. This is a bit of a big play from him. If he gets taken down, it's a very big sculpt to take, but Sean He plays that position himself and will get the frag onto Chris, and that's a huge frag in the context of this round. So let's see whether they can convert this round into a victory for himself. Nothing takes down Dennis, and all of a sudden you have to favour Cloud9 now.
Perfect opener there. They've got 2 down, but it's next. Let's bear in mind, this guy is a beast. He's already found Sean Garris, spots out another, but Shroud's already denied Spiddy. They're down to 2 on the CT side here, and there we go. Next is down. Godby last man standing. And finally, this play's worked out. They've taken down Chris J. They got the opener, and it just spiraled off the back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's much more positive in Cloud9. Like I said, they didn't have any sort of utility to play with, so they had to get earlier frags. So Chris J being in that position, a little bit of a misplay from him. Although I like the idea of it, falling back, he read what the terrorists were doing. He just didn't have any teammates to back with him. The best result he could have gone there was 1 for 1.
Yep.
In that position, it's a one and done. You can't really do a lot with it, and he didn't have any teammates there, so he didn't even get that 1 frag, and that's where it fell apart for them. The CTs then had to fall back to the side. It was too much for them. And finally, Cloud9 showing something positive here. The only round they've won so far had been the pistol, so this is fantastic stuff, and they want to try and keep as many guns as possible because money's not going to be great for them. But Godby surviving, taking down 1 exit of his own, but I wouldn't be surprised now if Chris J pulled out the AWP. He knows long area is going to be, but well, it's obviously something they're exploiting, so he can lock that down if he gets the AWP out and starts contesting it himself.
I'm looking forward to see if he does it.
He's got the money, he's thinking about it right now. They're probably discussing whether it's a worthwhile investment, but not going to do it. They're going to keep the 5 rifles, and to be fair, it's only been 2 rounds they've lost so far. That's the first gun round, so this isn't a bad call. Maybe a change of mentality. They could go a little bit more aggressive, I think. The mid pushes have been there, but they haven't shown presence in the steps area right now, so that'll be interesting to see whether they actually go towards that. But Chris J stepping it up, going a little even more aggressive now. He's making his way into party area and going to face the fountain.
And this time he's got Next supporting him as well. You said last time he was a little on his own when he went for these slightly more aggressive peaks, but this time he's got support, but doesn't quite need it just yet. There's Next coming into the matter, gets down 1, sprays for the second, gets Sean Garris, and that's Skadoodle finally shutting them down. But that's a 2-for-1 trade. Shroud finding Dennis and Next is not going to help this one out. It's left in a 3v3 though.
That's a huge frag from Chris J. Like, that was the round defined there.
Oh! Good. God, he almost had another then. Nothing's down to 22 HP. They've seen the bomb, and Spiddy's in a pretty good spot now. Catches nothing out, just carelessly leaping through. And now Skadoodle, 1v2. Not had the chance to pick up the AWP just yet. See if that rifle works on point, and it's not just yet. Spiddy will close it down, and mousesports, as you said, these small adjustments, not needing to change everything, just working out well.
They're just not allowing Cloud9 to do the same round again, essentially. They know that long was pretty easy for them to take, but like you said, Chris J showing that presence in middle, getting the attention. It allowed Next to come around the corner and get 2 pretty easy frags in the side there. It did get a little bit close towards the end, but ultimately that was a very smooth round for mousesports, and that force, after winning 1 round, that forces Cloud9. The money's been reset. They're on the pistols again. It's not going to be a force buy. They have 1 smoke and 2 flashbangs, but I guess they're just going to try and execute onto the A side. It looks like maybe just try and get a bomb down in this situation, but again, Chris J showing so much presence here. He hasn't really been shut down too much. He's been playing this area very well. Now falling back, we see him do a lot. He goes for the initial confrontation, then he'll fall back to the side. And there, Speedy getting some great information here as well. Just working out what the teams are doing, saying there's no presence here whatsoever. So let's see how this one unfolds. And it looks like Chris J's going to get some action.
Yeah, he certainly is, but there's about 3 players with a possible peek, but he denies 2 of them. Takes on 1, takes down 2. Perfectly done again. The T players are just having no opportunity to challenge him freely. Finally, Freakazoid has a bit of a shot at it, and the P250 will at least come up good. But Spiddy, knowing now there's very little attention towards that B site, can start building behind. Bombs loose, spots out another, and this is a walk in the park for mousesports so far. We've just not seen much of a contest from Cloud9. What's going on with these guys? Is there a point where you start worrying? Let's bear in mind, 7 rounds is not the biggest amount in the world. Cloud9 still have 2, but when do they start getting a little worried here, Cloud9?
Right now, looking at the buy, this is where it falls apart for them. You can see 3 Galils coming out. They have opted to get the Galils over the AKs just because they want to have that utility. Skadoodle now finally getting the AWP. This is where it could get interesting. The fact that CTs haven't got an AWP to contest it, he can maybe start doing some big work here. They've got a full set of utilities, so potentially getting onto the bomb side. They have been able to get into B. It hasn't been a problem actually getting the side. It's been getting the bomb down and converting that round. So they're playing things a little bit slower here, but are showing more presence again towards the B side. But Skadoodle is going to be the point man. He needs to make this work and find an opening frag just to give them an advantage going into the site. So far they've been going in 5-on-5 and it's kind of fallen away from them. So definitely banking on Skadoodle doing something. Here's the glass cannon as well. No armor for him. So definitely a lot of weight on his shoulders right now.
Sean Garris clearly feeling that's an important factor to bring up at this point. As you said, that when it starts getting a little bit too tight like this, they're going to have to start considering their options. Of course, round 6, the one where we did see this sort of play before. Prior to seeing that, ooh, AWP coming out. It was Dennis getting the 4K, denying this exact play, but let's see if they can do anything about it now. Godby still in position. Perfect flashes coming around the backside there, and Godby should be able to deny a couple. Flashes again come out, but Skadoodle gets tagged up. He doesn't go down yet. Godby's out of bullets. Finally, the T-side might have a chance here. Cloud9 get the bomb down. They have the site into control. Dennis on the retake, though, doesn't care. He walks straight in. He knows they're still in the site. But Spiddy's low, Dennis is low. This isn't easy for mousesports.
Definitely not. It's going to be a very difficult hold, though, for Cloud9. You can see them. Frags coming in, Skadoodle showing why he has more than AWP, and all of a sudden a flurry of frags, 2-on-2 situation now. The retake is on. You can see a player in short got Skadoodle towards Monster Tunnel. He has got the AWP,
Skadoodle.
and that is the pick that could have won the round for them. There it is. Great stuff, and he shows why he's such an important factor, getting great opening kills. Got B in that barrels area, run out of bullets there. He's been so instrumental in that B bomb site and unable. He sprayed so much at the start of the round when the execution finally came in. He had nothing left and got taken down. So that's much more positive from Cloud9. I think having Skadoodle there in the clutch situation mean they can get some very valuable picks. But there we go. Actually, no response in terms of AWP from mousesports yet. That's surprising. That's the thing about Chris J. If he's not really feeding the AWP that day, he's still a very scary rifle player. So he's one of the few AWPers that can do that and bring that to the match. But again, 5 players towards B. This really is a bomb site they are favouring, and they're going to go straight through that Molotov. And here we go. Freakazoid leading the charge.
Godby's going to have to hold this time. Hopefully he doesn't shoot his load a little too early. Freakazoid will find Spiddy. Dennis, though, backing up on the side. He goes down straight away. Godby this time can't slow him down, but Dennis swiftly on the rotate. Not going to have the chance just yet. Skadoodle just behind the smoke. Bomb is down. They're going to have to start wondering soon. Skadoodle's got a good idea, and of course he's going to land the shot. Skadoodle is making such a difference here. Already picking up kills into this round. Chris J and Nex not really fancying this one.
So we discussed this, like I said, they are getting into the bomb sites. It's been like the initial exchange has been letting them down. Now they've broken it with the AWP picks. You can see Skadoodle pick up another valuable kill there, but Freakazoid with the Galil getting 2 free kills as he came into the bomb site. That's so important, and he's so strong at doing that. That's why he plays the role he does. He may not get the most frags in the team, but the frags he do get is very important. Sets his team up to get into these bomb sites. And there we go, the 4th round on the board for Cloud9. I wouldn't be surprised if this broke the economy for mousesports. They have saved 2 guns, but let's see how they go into this next round. I think they're going to be too far gone to force this one. You can see 3K on the board there. Difficult situation for them. Obviously having 2 rifles. I think Nex and Chris J, having them is very important because they have been running that aggressive mid setup. Whether they can do that again and get the couple of frags we've seen them do in that scenario, that could be instrumental. So stacking towards the B side of the 3 pistols and letting those guys go run riot again in middle will be interesting, but we can see them actually separating. Chris J going towards long, and Nex will be going towards the bathroom area. So maybe a change of mentality here to see whether they can surprise the T's again.
Let's find out. T-side taking this one fairly cautiously. Not hammering in towards B, as we've seen thus far. Dennis going to position himself down towards that connector tunnels area. Shroud isn't too far away, but Nex is waiting. So mousesports holding these slightly closer angles, still not wanting to give up the map completely. And Dennis might have just had the perfect opportunity to make that one hurt. Doesn't quite get the shot off, and we have already seen Nex go down as well. That rifle is now lost. Skadoodle just watching Chris J walk into that. And now Godby and Spiddy last 2 alive.
Yep, so that's the 2 rifles down. 2 PT-50 and a 5-7 to hold the bomb site here. Shouldn't be too much hard work for Cloud9 to hold this one off. Speedy getting some decent damage off. Godby's going to be a last man remaining, but Cloud9 played that very nicely. Didn't overcommit to any bomb sites, didn't get himself in a difficult situation. We see maybe a frag there, not going to happen, but yeah, so they worked out what was going on. Those 2 rifles saved. They're well aware of that. They needed to find out where those rifles were. They took them down, and then it's a very simple procedure from there. But the money isn't great in the mousesports camp. All of a sudden, Cloud9 looking very strong, and they could potentially win this half still. So definitely can't take anything away from this. Skadoodle, as soon as he picked up the AWP, has been really, really strong. He's getting some very vital frags. What will mousesports bring to the table now? I think they need to be exploiting that steps area a little bit more, trying to get the first frag instead of allowing Skadoodle to get the first entry kills. But he will be going towards the B side again. And Chris J, of course, showing aggression, as he does so well. But this is a very important round. This could knock mousesports onto a full eco after this.
Oh, and Godby already taking a little bit of damage there towards that B side. Going to back away, though, after spraying through. And this is the setup we've seen that Cloud9 look towards when they're going to take that B side when the smokes come over. It's that set piece, and Shroud just picking Spiddy out of the air. That's the perfect way to open this one up, completely free, basically.
You don't normally rely on the jumping hitboxes of CSGO too much, but that one paid off. A lovely headshot onto Speedy there. Yeah, that was crazy. Now they have a full reason to go into the execution, and this should be a pretty simple cleanup. Will they be able to hold off the terrorist side? A frag required for mousesports right now.
Oh, it's absolutely vital. Dennis is on the precipice here. He knows they're going to walk in just on the edge of that smoke. Will catch out Sean Garris, but it's a 2-for-2 trade. Godby is finally kicking into gear this time, though. 2 kills this round, but still, Skadoodle standing has been a massive factor for Cloud9. Bomb is down. It's him and Shroud up against Godby and Chris J. This is a massive 2v2 coming in.
Well, no kits on the CTZ. They need to find the frags right away. It's a very difficult situation for them, and I don't think they'll even find a frag here. As Shroud takes on Godby, it's a one-on-one situation now, but Skadoodle definitely having the advantage.
Chris J, he got attacked, though. I don't know if he knows this. He knows roughly where Skadoodle is, though. Chris J. just backing out of it. He knows he doesn't have the defuse kit. You pointed out earlier on, and nicely done by Skadoodle, just holding his nerve, not going to be playing too aggressively on that. He just waited it out. But that was very, very close. And as you said, that was quite the important round there. And look how close the scoreline's gotten already. Since we've seen Skadoodle coming into his own, the rest of Cloud9 working off the back of that. These opening picks from Freakazoid, everything's starting to fall into the right place.
Yeah, it all came down to that jumping shot. We don't see many kills like that, but Shroud showing his godlike reactions there, taking the player down, and that just opened it up. It gave them such a good reason to actually execute onto the side there. And like I said, look at the economy now. This could put Cloud9 in a really strong position. They could actually potentially win this half now. And as a T side, that's amazing, especially against a team like mousesports. Chris J actually showing more aggression. Instead of waiting at the top, he's going deeper into the stairs area. And he's going to be isolated there, the Molotov. They are expecting this.
Yeah, and he is the only man with the rifle. Looking elsewhere, it's just pistols, a little bit of armor kind of put around. But he does at least find Shroud, so they could possibly recover another rifle off of him. But the Cloud9 boys are well and truly aware of where he is. And next spot's maybe Sean Garris then, but the T-side just going to carry on towards A, not looking so hesitant this time. But God B will be waiting. This
is a great reaction for Cloud9. They've worked out what the CTs are doing, locked them out of the smoke, and they should be able to execute on side very easily here. But the frags are exchanging pretty rapidly.
Oh, God B, that's 2 already for him, slowing them down perfectly. And look what's left. Sean Garris, 7 HP, nothing, 20. Spiddy's got a rifle. Next, I don't think he can get a hold of one here, but he does need to just land one shot here, and it's perfect. Bomb towards A, going down. There's nothing. Planting that one. Nade will follow. Doesn't quite find him. Now where's Spiddy? He needs to come into this as well. Both players completely able to do this. Look at the HP. 5 on Sean, 4 on nothing. This is the best opportunity that mousesports have had in these retakes. Spiddy's going to start building towards it. Bomb is ticking. Nothing finds one. And there we go. Next goes down. And Sean Garris will hold it on. And together they had less than 10 HP. And they brought this scoreline back all even. This is brilliant stuff from Cloud9.
Like I said, that read from them when they worked out 2 players were towards the stairs area, just locking them out of the smoke, it automatically makes those players redundant. They made a very fast execute onto the A side. That was the perfect call. Obviously, God B made stuff happen there with the 5-7. Picks up 2 very big frags and a lot of the damage being done to the players there. But once the bomb went down, they knew the CTs probably didn't have kits in that situation, and it came down to a great crossfire there. They made sure they didn't commit until they had to, and it pitted to 7-7. And I think, was that the tactical pause coming in now? It probably would be from mousesports, and Chris J finally picking up the AWP now, actually giving himself a reason to buy it. And I guess it's one of those things where he hasn't bought it all game, and it looked really strong for them, this 5 rifle setup, but all of a sudden he's going to have to bring it out and see what he can bring to the table with that.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out. I think they've just unpaused it, so we should be back underway soon. It may have just been an issue. I'm not actually too sure, to be completely honest,
I
at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised with tactical pause, just
I'll
because
assume for this one.
When they brought the AWP out, they need to discuss where they're going to place him, where he's going to be most valuable to the team. So far, I think that's 5 rounds in a row now for Cloud9, so they really have dropped off this map. Chris J going towards a long area. Got the Zeus in hand as well. That gets disposed of pretty quickly, but here we go. Obviously, the last round will be very important. mousesports want to win this one and take the half home.
Let's see if he can make the big difference here. It's been a factor that has been a little quiet so far. Not seen this debut just yet. Skadoodle has been certainly letting his presence be known in towards this game. Will Chris J be able to step up? We are seeing that slower, cautious approach from Cloud9 towards that A site, so not speeding things up here. We might just see Chris J have the perfect opportunity to put this to good use. Here we go. Finally has a bit of a glimpse, but he will back out of this one. No one's going to push for that to try and catch him off, but here we go, 3 players lined up, another flash. Chris J just not having the chance just yet, but soon enough, he's going to have the perfect opportunity here to maybe put that AWP to good use.
Well, they're more than aware of what he's doing, so they're playing this perfectly, and that's the big pick they needed. Sean going down to the hand of Chris, and now they smoked them off, isolated them a little bit more. They need to run the timer down and force the T's to come into the side. They don't want to, so the rotation isn't really an option for them right now. You can see they're so committed to that long area, but what's their reply to this? How can they get back into the round?
And Chris J's already going roaming. This is very aggressive stuff from Chris J. Just wants to cut off completely one side of this, just leave them on towards long. He's got next to back him up, but Dennis is going to have to deal with the 3 players now pouring through towards the side. He's got Freakazoid there, Shroud, and Skadoodle, all waiting to just chomp at that bit. And next will find nothing. Dennis finds Freakazoid. They're actually holding it this time. Shroud and Skadoodle, last 2 standing. Chris J didn't make the biggest impact, but he certainly put his name on that scoreboard. And Skadoodle not going to have the opportunity there. And mousesports will at least close out with an advantage, but a very slim one.
I'm kind of bewildered why they didn't bring the AWP out sooner. Like, that could have been a very viable option for them. Taking the AWP towards B, for example, in some rounds, and there was a site they favoured. Chris could have gone for the initial kill on Monster Tunnel, for example, and then move back to middle the next round, go towards long. We know how good he is in all those positions. I'm not sure it took them to the last round to actually make that decision. We talk about God being the tactical mastermind, but that's all they needed to get into that round and like secure themselves early frags instead of allowing Cloud9 to do almost anything they wanted in that situation. Like, Chris J was showing presence towards middle at the start of rounds, but it wasn't enough like pressure on the T's. They still could just go slow plays, work out what they were doing and go to execute. So pretty back and forth. Obviously, mousesports opening up phenomenally. They were locking out Cloud9 very early on. All the execution on the B site were availed to nothing really, but now then, 7 rounds on the board on Overpass, that's very good for Cloud9. They're going to be, I thought they'd already be a little bit happier than that, but they've definitely given themselves a very good fighting chance going into the second half.
So, let's talk about what made that change, because as we saw at the very start of this, mousesports were leading by a massive margin. They looked extraordinarily strong. They were holding both sites. Everything that Cloud9 seemed to throw at them just didn't stick. Then we saw, well, obviously Skadoodle picking up the AWP, and things started to change. And was that the pivotal point to you, or what made that happen? It
was the constant, like, they just weren't, they were so concentrated on the B side. When they first got a couple of rounds on the board, that's where it came from. Like, it had to work at some point. But yeah, like I said before, Skadoodle getting the AWP was a great call for them, because it allowed them, when the bomb did go down, you had him as the anchor, holding the clutches off. The rotation from the CT made it very difficult for them. They couldn't come out of that upper area at all, because he just locked them down. And yeah, it was just a great call from them. That's why I'm surprised that Chris J didn't answer back earlier on with the AWP. Like we saw, he got, even if he didn't get the kill initially on the long area, he got some good information off, and it's definitely an angle he can face and fall back from. So that's why it was kind of surprising when you see the stress balls coming out there. This is new meta. I haven't seen these before. This is new.
This is a new thing. Old dog like you learning new tricks, maybe.
Yeah,
who knows?
Stress balls. That's the future.
Hey, it's working so far. Let's see how it goes in towards that second half. Of course, if you're just tuning in, God knows where you've been, but it will be Cloud9 switching over towards that CT side. mousesports have to try their hand at the T side here. And so far, you tipped mousesports to be the victors in this matchup. Are you sticking with that still?
Well, let's see how this pistol round goes down. Obviously, a very important round. We saw a very simple round for Cloud9. They just rushed B, but it seems like a change of mentality. 2 smokes for mousesports, but the CT's going very aggressive as well. They want to get some early kills, and this could be the perfect response.
Skadoodle, Sean Garris, nothing, all pushing up here, and they're going to get a face full of information, but that's Chris J picking up nothing, and God B follows on towards Sean Garris, next towards Skadoodle. They've just steamrolled through that.
Yeah, it's the only thing you can really do as a CT. You either sit back and allow the T's to crush you with a 5-man execute, or you try and bring the game to them. You try to get that early frag, and that's what Cloud9 tried to do there, but unfortunately sometimes it doesn't work out for you. If you lose the first man, you need one person isolated, it's very difficult to hold off a T-pistol round, but exactly what mousesports needed after that first half. They get themselves a pretty convincing setup here. They should be converting this round to a victory, but 2-on-4 situation. Freakazoid and Shroud left on the map. Very strong players, obviously, and I like what mousesports are doing. They're not committing too heavily. They want to find out and make sure they go together. They're banking on the CTs making the first mistake here.
Well, Freakazoid was certainly starting to go looking, but not overextending him, not wanting to put himself out of place. Of course, Shroud is over towards that B site. Freakazoid towards A. Neither want to make the mistake.
Well, the interesting thing is here that mousesports still have 2 smoke grenades as well. So as long as they go together and choose the right area of the map, I'd say B is probably their best bet. Either smoking out some of the key choke points, going together, that gives them a really strong chance of getting into the site uncontested.
Yeah, and Shroud will have a very good idea very soon as they do start to pour through. Great work comes out. Shroud already dinked up, has to back away. Freakazoid's en route, but by now already, as you said, smoke's in place. It's made it so hard for Cloud9 to get back into this one. Shroud going to just try and catch something on towards Dennis, but at the moment Freakazoid going to have to be the one pushing in. Doesn't get any of it. Shroud will at least find next, but it's Dennis to close it down with 2, and mousesports at least will pick up this pistol, starting on their T side.
Yeah, very calm play from them. Like they locked down the initial push from Cloud9 in the long area. You kind of put that down to a 50-50, but Chris J got the opening frag, and what I liked so much about that was they didn't, even though they thought, oh, that's the round probably over, we can just run into a bomb site, they utilised the grenades they had in their inventory, made sure they waited for the CTs to show any presence. Nothing was shown, but went towards the B side, and like I said, once you smoke out those key choke points, the CTs are forced to face angles that aren't very favourable to them. But the double scout setup coming from Cloud9, they're going all in, and we know how deadly they can be with these weapons. It's going to be Shroud and Skadoodle, but will the T's be away? You can see, look how passive they're playing.
Exactly. If you open up the map right now, or just look at the mini-map, they are literally as far back as you can almost get. God B next, Chris J and Dennis just wanted to find out the lay of the land. They don't want to walk in towards those scouts. They don't want to allow those 5-7s a chance here. But it is getting Cloud9 starting to get a little pushy. They are starting to look around. Sean Garris and Freakazoid having a bit of a glimpse. But at this point, surely it's just about being careful and cautious.
You just want to make sure you go as a team. That's the whole thing in these sort of rounds. Even if you lose a frag, it's fine. You just need to make sure the response is there straight away. So you can't allow the scouts to do the jumping shots. You need to smoke off key choke points like this, go together at that stage and not allow him to pick up multiple tags. That's what it's all about here. So they need to be careful. They don't leave too many people spread out. We can see Speedy holding towards the B flank there. That's fine as long as he doesn't overcommit and get taken down. But it looks like they're working their way up long, but they will have a scout waiting for them. Shroud just needs to tag and he gets enough information there just to rattle the terrorist team.
Let's see if he can do it. As you mentioned, there's the first walking through. Doesn't get the tag there, but I think that's going to be God B trying to crouch under that one, try and crouch under the pre-aim spot, but 2 tags now coming out. This is making those 5-7s be able to come to work, and there we have it. Shroud, Nothing, and Skadoodle all picking up kills. The 5-7s of the scouts just picking away at the T side. And look at this, one by one, mousesports have just been absolutely ravaged here.
I really wasn't a fan of that whatsoever. Like I said, they got the long position. They worked out the scout was there. Like, no one even got tagged initially. All they had to do was just smoke off the bank area there or just utilize some flashbangs they had. They did have 2 smokes there, but just went in clean. Got B, just walked into the side, got tagged down. And like I said, as soon as the initial tags come in, it makes it very easy for them to clear up. And Speedy holding the flank, not what the team is doing, the kind of lurk roll there. He saves the UMP, but that's not going to do much as he doesn't save any money there. He goes with 150 this round, and the response from mousesports now is going to be very interesting.
And looking, of course, at Cloud9, they got 4 rifles out of that. They didn't miss a beat, and the UMP was the one item that would survive for the T side. And Tech-9s, P250s, and a bit of armor. That's quite jolting, considering, you know, mousesports the one who turned it around in the second round on their CT side.
Full B rush though. This is
they're going to have to.
Response, the Molotov goes down, and that's going to lock them out of the bomb site. And now they're going to be wondering, what the hell do we do in this situation? Let's just run through and hope for the best, I guess.
And you walk into the literal, you know, one-man turret that's Shroud. This guy can just go to town. And there we go. There's the first. Spitty down. Going to back up. Now it stays welcome. Those flashes coming through. Doing enough. Nothing. Just waiting. But does get picked up by Chris J. So losing out a little here, but not a lot. They shouldn't let this one slip. The bomb shouldn't be able to go down, but Dennis is not giving up on this just yet. But Skadoodle and Freakazoid do make it over there, and we are back all tied up now. 9-9, Cloud9 retaining the rifles as well to at least a fairly decent degree, and mousesports not quite able to make too much out of that round.
Pretty poor response from them, especially when they were aware they dropped 4 rifles, and the CT just had to sit far back as they did, wait for something to come in, and they just got locked down by the incendiary, then the smoke just forcing the run through it, and it's a horrible little round from mousesports there, and they're going to be, of course, be on the full Glock buy here, not even a flashbang to play with. Jesus. So it's going to be a full-on throwaway round. I'm not even sure whether they'll get a single frag here. They'll just be probably talking about the next round and how they can go into it, but pretty desperate times now for mousesports. They're getting shut down pretty much all areas, but let's see what they can do. Chris J does have the bomb. Most of the guys walking towards the mid area. It's actually going to be 4 players and 1 towards long. It's just going to be an explosive play. Sean should just fall back in this situation now. He's worked out what's going on.
He should fall back, but stays out, and, well, he's not really suffered just yet. He does lose out, though, there to Nex. And now Dennis, last man standing, 1v3. Shouldn't be able to make much out of that one, as Nothing will be watching it. Gets a little low, but it got quite close. They lost out on 2 players then against just Glocks.
Yeah, it's a pretty good result for them. I don't think they saw that one coming, but here we go. This is one of the most important rounds of the game so far. We've got the AWP onto Skadoodle. Obviously, the craziest AWP on the server right now, and the response from mousesports, they had to do the full eco just to give them this full rifle buy. They have got to forced into a BXQ then. Like, if you take your time there and allow the CT to lock you out, they can start pushing other areas of the map and call the rotations coming quite early. So I actually like that from mousesports. Got into the side nice and early, and that's quite a big round for them in the context of the economy. You can see Shroud there on the MP9, although Overpass is definitely a map where this can be viable. If he can get himself into a tricky close-up situation, maybe this towards the stairs area, he can definitely make it work for himself. But Skadoodle pushing into the stairs area now with the AWP, this could be a huge frag, and I think he will actually get it. This is his bread and butter.
Glass cannon as well. confidence aplenty. Dennis there does actually flash himself up some way. Oh, beautifully done by Skadoodle. Just makes it look so simple, yet not many people can pull that one off. He will back out of this as well and get away a little more damaged up, but still in place, still just as potent.
That's the perfect play. When you're up against the ropes, your economy is not very good. You need someone to get that initial pick just to lock out the T from performing a full execute or a bomb site. Now they need to assess their options and get a pick at themselves. Chris J got the scout in hand, so he obviously has a disadvantage in this matchup as well. You can see them just trying to bait out a little shot there and see what they're playing up against. But the T's getting mid-control here, but they haven't really got too much in terms of positional advantage because they haven't met any CTs yet. So let's see what they can do. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. God B does have the bomb, but they don't have a lot to work with right now.
No, they certainly don't. And Sean Garris is still slightly pushed up, not by much, but enough that could catch them out. Nothing's going to put himself towards A as well. He's going to be watching the push towards long, so Sean knows he's still fairly well covered. He might just hear these footsteps coming forward. He gets 2 down. That's Spitty and got to be denied. Nothing's going to find next, and that's a brilliant little shutdown coming in towards that A play. And Chris J now, last man standing. He's got a scout and a Tech 9, but it's nothing to close him out as well. And Cloud9 keeping all players alive, and the power of Skadoodle getting that first one, slowing down the T's, allowing Cloud9 just a little more control.
Yeah, it was the perfect response, making sure he gets that first frag. It's allowed his team to fall back, and you saw mousesports then didn't have a reaction to it whatsoever, or even a response. They just held the middle area and then just chose the time, went in together, and Sean Garris locking them down with a really nice spray down there. Some good synergy between them. Shroud keeping the MP9 here. Really good call from him, especially we know he's going to be up against an eco here. You can see yet again, pretty much a Glock buy, but they're just going to get some mid-control here. Shroud trying to utilize their spraying power and just farming some economy there. Chris J gets taken down straight away, and that's good stuff from him. Again, they can just work out. No armor on the player. It's going to be a pretty simple round. They can fall back here, but Sean Garris has got other ideas.
Yeah, and Godby next. Thought they could maybe pop around behind Sean Garris, catch him off a little there, but truly and utterly aware, the smoke held them back, and it was just shooting fish in a barrel this time. Spitty gonna look for, he will at least take down Sean Garris there, but there's still Shroud, and he's still doing so much damage here and getting so much money for it as well. Spitty knows he's in trouble, but he will go down in the end. So Cloud9 keeping numbers there, keeping the rifles in hand, and it looks like they're starting to really get themselves building into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take a look at the money of Shroud. They can see he's on 6k after that round, so very nice stuff for him. Another eco, it looks like, from mousesports. Not going to do the quasi-buy, not going to be getting the armor so much. They're going to be getting the smokes, which suggests they'll be going for an executor, trying to get the bomb down. The best place to do that always is going to be the B bomb side, because it's so easy to try and get a bomb down after you do all the smokes. You can see players actually not going to be opting to that way. Maybe they'll be going towards a long area, but you can see this aggression. Once again, Shroud going for that initial kill, and he should be able to shut them down pretty convincingly there, and that's the bomb going down as well. So any ideas mousesports had completely shut down, and now they'll be looking down the barrel of a 5-on-3 situation. What can they do here? Difficult times for them.
And let's bear in mind, Freakazoid's with them this time. He's another factor that's been pulled over towards that aggressive play out of A, and it's paid off brilliantly. Him and Skadoodle, joined by Shroud, keeping those T's as far back as possible, not even letting them get a glimpse towards that side with the bomb. Spitty sure will get attacked towards Freakazoid, but there's still 5 players standing, and Cloud9 are completely up in his face.
Yeah, I actually like this buy from mousesports. They're not overcommitting themselves and getting like Galils and AKs out, for example. They're making sure they go into the next round with everything. I wouldn't be surprised if this is when Chris J needs to step out now. He probably does need to get the AWP out and have the answer back. They're not getting picks on the map. They're getting locked down with this aggressive play by Skadoodle, etc. So this is when they can slow it down a little bit more and try and work on their pick play. You can see the money there. Chris J wouldn't be able to justify. It's going to be the glass cover. He hasn't got the head armor. I guess that is quite a big factor going up against the M4s though. So he has got the AWP out, and let's see what he can do with it. He's going to be the linchpin here for mousesports, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw even more aggression from Cloud9 here. They know they're in the driving seat. Skadoodle making his way down middle again.
Just barreling straight through. Not a second of doubt in his mind. He wants to go straight back up there, and why not? He's going to have 2 players possibly close by, and that was God B, but they have backed away, as you can see. Spitty as well, making his way towards that B side. Chris J joining. Once again, of course, it's Shroud and Nothing will be waiting on the other side with Freakazoid as well. So, not exactly easy to break through, but mousesports seeming like they want to slow it down a little bit more and just make sure they don't rush into something here.
Well, they don't want to get shut down by their early aggression. They want to make sure they feel out the map and ascertain what the CTs are actually up to before they lose the round. So this is good from them. They've pushed the CTs back to the bomb sites now, and they should allow Chris J to even just face some choke points. You can see them are going to be favouring B, and here he comes. Very deadly in these sort of situations. Will he be able to find the frag, and misses it? That's a big miss, and that's going to be costing the round, I think.
He's been such a linchpin player for these boys for so many times, especially with the openers, but if he's not landing them at this point with the orb, when it finally gets in his hands, this is going to happen. Freakazoid already finding 2. He gets a 3rd, and Freakazoid's just on a mission right now, and why not? They're walking into him. He's not even been challenged. Sure, Godby's finally broken through towards A, but to what end? The bomb's still over by B. It's finally in the hands of Spiddy. He might be able to hold them back here, but he's got 3 players just knocking at that door. Flash comes out, a little bit of a boost here from Shroud, and well, last time Shroud was able to pluck the player out of the air. This time he's going to have a little bit of trouble as Godby will be caught off by nothing pushing through Bank. And Spiddy has to just reconsider his options here. 13 seconds left, not much hope. And Freakazoid just had free reign then to do what he wanted.
Well, that's the whole thing. We talked about Chris J. He had to find that frag there, and I'm sorry, that's one he should have hit. That's a shot Skadoodle would have hit all day long. So going to that site, fluffed his lines a little bit, hit the shot, got taken down to 9 HP, I think it was, and then from that's the moment I said they're going to lose that round now, because Freakazoid gets all that information. He's able to face after a flashbang, got 3 huge frags, and that's what he's so good at, just locking down those bomb sites, and it takes them to 14 rounds now. Looking at the money over the mousesports off that big investment, it's going to be dire times for them. They've saved 1 AK-47 on Speedy, but the rest of the guys now trying to work out what's going to be the best play for them. Do they allow Cloud9 to go on to match point here, or it looks like they're actually going to be just doing some body armor? Kind of questionable when you go up against 4s, not really worth the investment, but I guess it doesn't really matter considering how much money they'll have go to the next round. And it's a leg shot coming in for Skadoodle.
And there's the nade.
Touchdown.
Just Kobe Bryant makes his appearance on the server, why not? Skadoodle, you know, give him an AWP, give him a nade. It doesn't seem to matter. He can just land it with anything. And now 4 players left alive for the T side. They've been struggling with 5. Spiddy's the one with the rifle. He does have the armor. Dennis as well, just body armor. Nex and Chris J with the smoke and Tech9. It's really not ideal, and Skadoodle knows he can challenge these out. He's still holding the angle. Can he make any more? A little bit of a shoulder peek from Spiddy. Draws the fire, and at least the T side is starting to build up to this, but already the CTs have 3 players fully present on this side. Yeah,
and now they've worked out that the ecos, another leg shot coming in from Skadoodle. Really is firing on all cylinders right now, but Sean is the snake in the grass as he takes down Chris J there. Really nice frag, gets the bomb as well. That's so valuable. Speedy on low HP with the AK-47 needs to work out if it's even worth going into the site, but here they come on long. Skadoodle picks up another frag here. 4-on-2 situation now.
He already knew they were going to push through on long. He instinctively thought of it, but Dennis just doesn't care. He barrels in with the Tech9, but this looks like Cloud9 will get on match point. They're 3v1 here. Spiddy's on 20 HP. They've surrounded him all fronts, and nothing will take them to 15 rounds. And Cloud9 have had an answer to every single one of the questions mousesports have put forward.
Yeah, we said Skadoodle was going to be very instrumental on the CT side, and he's doing that. He's pushing up, and he's not even having teammates with him now. He's just going up to that fountain area, facing, getting leg shots, converting them into nade kills as well. So he is playing very well indeed. But obviously, like we said, mousesports going for that overtime play. They didn't want to force everything into the last round, so they have got a pretty decent buy here. 1 player, Speedy, he saved the AK and obviously died, but he'll be on the Tech9. We have got Chris J on the AWP again. Hasn't had that much impact this game, I'm afraid. He's been pretty quiet. But Sean now pushing out that long control. They're just changing the setup almost every single time, banking towards the A side quite a lot here, and he gets the first frag, and that could be all she wrote now.
This could be it. That could be at least the nail in the coffin here that could cause it. T-side going to be looking to maybe pull themselves over towards A. Chris J desperately looking for the opportunity, but Skadoodle's been denying it on every single front. And already, T-side of mousesports just going to have to work so hard to work this one back. The CTs of Cloud9 pushed up so far. Sean Guerra, Skadoodle, nothing. Also close. Chris J will catch a glimpse of at least maybe nothing then. Not going to get the shot off though. And once again, Cloud9 buying so much time here. Every single corner now has to be checked, but mousesports are looking over towards B again, maybe trying to hedge their bets here.
Yeah, I think they'll be doing a similar play, trying to see if Chris J can get the pick, but Shroud takes down Speedy, and he gets Dennis as well, and now it's a 4-on-2 situation. Chris J and Nex, the 2 point men for mousesports, and now if they're going to win this one, they've got a massive mountain to climb. Chris J desperately needs to find a frag, and he knows it as well. 30 seconds remaining.
He has to hit this shot. He missed it last time. He misses it again. He doesn't even get the opportunity to pull it off, and Freakazoid closes out with the double, and mousesports just crumble under the sheer pressure of Cloud9 there. And it just never seemed like mousesports had their opportunity. Once Cloud9 got going, they looked insatiable. Skadoodle, once he got that AWP in hand, such a powerful player.
That was it. mousesports had a nice strong start to the campaign there, got some really good rounds on the board, but they finishing the round 8-7. I think they definitely wanted more than that. They allowed Cloud9 to get back into that series, and like you said, Skadoodle was so important that entire game. Once he got rolling, that was it, especially on the CT side as well. He controlled the whole game. He directed where the teams were going just by his legs, his leg shots, and his just general control of the map. So you can see mousesports are very disappointed with that one, and rightly so. I think they made some very big mistakes there. Their execution on the side were very lackluster, and their economy got completely drained as well. So a disappointing start to their campaign here at the Major, but hands being shaken, obviously. Good sports here, but a great game for Cloud9 to start on.
Considering the history leading up to this was in mousesports' favour. If you looked on paper,
on the results, right?
Cloud9 just turned up in a much better state than we could have imagined, especially in this matchup. And as you said, mousesports just probably quite disappointed with that one. Not really the best display of what we've seen from them so far. They've been so good to this point, but a very poor display to begin this one off with. Of course, they'll have other chances going forward, but I could imagine that was one of the games they would have really wanted to at least start off with.
Absolutely. So for me, I just want to talk about MVPs. I think Freakazoid was great. He played his role so well. Going onto the sides as well, Galil kills all the time, making sure he locked down the bottom sides of CT as well. He's one of my favourite players to watch, and he shows why he's one of the best entry fraggers in the game. So very nice stuff from him. Unfortunately, Next didn't really get rolling too much. We didn't see that too much of explosive play from him. I don't really remember anything that stand out from him, to be honest. So Chris J as well, like we didn't see him pick up the AWP on the CT side until the very last round. And that's difficult when you're on the CT side. You need to have that AWP like Skaduda was, controlling the map and making sure you at least get information and you can get that first pick and stop the executes the T-side were doing. So unfortunate stuff, but a nice game to open things up for us. And yeah, enjoyable at least. It was good to see Cloud9 kind of bouncing back off the initial ropey start. Yeah, and then of course outside of this, we now need to discuss the next game. First Pro now has to face Cloud9. That's the next one coming up, of course. Is this a Cloud9 that can take down Virtus Pro here? Is this what we're seeing? Because Virtus Pro didn't look particularly tested in their first game, let's be honest. No, absolutely not. Against Immunity, we spoke about them potentially being the weakest team at this event, but it's a nice warm-up for a VP. That's what I said. It's like good to get used to the setup and feel themselves out and see what it was. They lost both pistols and still won 16-8. So they're looking pretty strong right now. Last time we saw VP play, Cloud9 was at the CEVO event, and I think the map they got was Cash potentially, but I remember the train stood out for me the most. VP just run them over completely untrained. Like Cloud9 looks so lost in it. So that's a veto they automatically have to get rid of. Like they have no response for VP's train setup. So definitely going to be a great game here. Both teams seem like they're on decent form. Getting back into it, the big players in Cloud9 definitely showing up. But at the same time, Virtus Pro look very strong as well. So that's definitely going to be one to watch out for, and you should stick around because that's going to be a crazy game. Yeah, that's the next game coming up on this stream, of course. And I can hear the teams over there getting pretty loud. I'm not too sure what the scoreline is. Actually, no, I can see it. 13-9 currently in Na'Vi's favour. As well on Overpass, so we had a bit of an Overpass game coming up between those two. I have no idea how that one's going to end, but so far I think we need to see more from Mouse. I think that's the summary, at least in my eyes, that there's a lot more these guys can bring. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to be able to form up on this one. Do you think it was let's say tactical choices that held them back, or was it individual players not having their moment? Because these were the two factors that we thought were, big points between these teams that match up well. I just think it was the decisions they made with the buys. That was the key point for them. Like Chris J showed a lot of aggression towards middle, but with the M4 and not pushing into the stairs area as well, there's only so much you can do. You could kind of gain information, but he wasn't really getting anything valuable. He's just all he could say was, okay, they're not coming middle, and then he'd fall back to the long side, and we saw him get himself in so many difficult situations there as well. Like he'd be locked down long by himself, and M4 lost that frag, and like we said, that was just a one and done position. Even if he got one kill, then he wasn't able to do much of it anyway. So the CT setups for them, and definitely the buys, not getting the AWP out. I've seen him on this map before. I've casted him a lot of times, and he can be very good on that CT side. Absolutely, and not bringing it out to the last round was a very big mistake, I feel. Well, a couple of things I can imagine Mouse can now maybe take a step back and think about, just kind of go back to the drawing board a little and just discuss what maybe went wrong there. And for Cloud9, it's let's turn our attention towards Virtus Pro, because that's the next game that's going to be coming up on this stream. So guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back as soon as the teams